Today is Thursday, August the 10th. So August the 10th, and so I wasn't going to do a video today because I uploaded some information to my private Instagram, and the Instagram names are listed below. It does tell my private and my personal one. The personal one, that one you can just go on there, and it's, you know, once you request to be my friend, you're automatically added, because that was just for fun. This one here for the IVF is a little bit more closed and private because I don't want just anyone in it. It is for our community, and those that are, going through what we've already been through, just starting off or just finishing, whichever. So I did update a little bit on that. I had a little bit of energy. I just finished fixing LeBron's dinner and I have a little bit of energy. So I said I'm gonna go ahead and make a video really quickly so that way I can have it uploaded for y'all tomorrow. I went to my maternal fetal doctor today, and I don't know if I told y'all, but I was gonna cancel it. But she said if I canceled it, then it would need to be done at my doctor's office, my OB. The only reason why I don't go to my OB and do is because you have to go across the street to the hospital, get checked in, and to me it's just a whole bunch of stuff that I don't like to deal with. So I rather go to my maternal fetal doctor. You're by yourself in the room, you're in a nice comfy recliner, you have the sound going, you have your own privacy with you, your husband, your son, or whoever. And so I'd rather do it there. I like it there. I like getting my little ice chips they bring me. I just feel like I'm just all pampered and stuff. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into what happened. So when I went to do my ultrasound part, they did go ahead and pass. And what it is that they were trying to explain to me that the reason why I am doing so many NSTs is because they want to make sure, and NSTs and ultrasounds combined. I forgot what the ultrasound is called because the ultrasound is not a normal ultrasound. The ultrasound is to measure the fluid. The fluid is also there to measure the breathing, the practicing in breathing, watching their chest go up and down, or watching their lungs expand, and so forth. Also to check just their heart rate, make sure their heart rate is good, make sure they that they are okay in that point, and just to kind of see if there's any type of movement going on. So we went through that first. This was probably the quickest ultrasound that I've had in a while, which did catch me by surprise because I was surprised that she's like, well, both babies did pass, so I'm gonna go ahead and get you over to NST. And I was like, wow, and she did have to do a lot of stimulation to get baby A, which is Levi, which is the one that we are most concerned about only because of the weight. She did have to keep stimulating him. So with the monitor, she would just, she would shake it, she was shaking, and she moved around, she shake. I mean, she was trying to wake him up. And I was having contractions in the middle of it. And I understand, they have to do that and stuff like that. It was a bit painful, especially during my contractions. And so she was able to get him moving a little bit, However, he just hadn't been his normal self lately. And what I mean by that is that, like yesterday, he had the hiccups, and Normally, if Mr. Levi get the hiccups, he don't really like the hiccups. He starts to kick. He starts to, you know, kind of just, you know how some babies, when they get the hiccups, they can just go and just be fine. And there's some babies that, I think that was this one here. I think Levi was going to be the one that hates the hiccups. Nothing is going to be able to soothe his hiccups. You know, he's going to just be mad about them. That's the way I felt. So anyway, I also, you know, the reason why I didn't really, I guess, say anything, I mean, the reason why I didn't think to myself that something could be wrong, because he's not as active, but he's still active. He still kicks hard. He still needs me. He's still, you know, I can still feel him moving down here. I can still, you know, he does those things. So it's not like he's not moving. He was just my very, very active one. So it was like, that's, I guess that's the reason why I wasn't as concerned doing that ultrasound. However, she did have to stimulate him, and the reason why I'm telling you this is because it's relevant to what I'm gonna say around the NST part. So after the ultrasound tech did her thing or whatever, and she's so sweet, but after she did everything or whatever, she got me over to NST. So I get to NST or whatever, they find where the heartbeats are and everything. They get to monitoring me, and the babies are just like, I'm not moving. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not going to cooperate with you. I don't want to move. I don't care how much ice you eat. I don't care how much water you drink. I don't care if you pop me on the bottom. I'm not moving. And like, it was a little sluggish. It was a little sluggish today. Like, it really was. And I only had like a bowl of cereal, so I hadn't really eaten a lot so far, because I originally was supposed to have my appointment at 1 o'clock, and I called and said, do you have any, you know, body that canceled? They were like, yeah. Now I called at 8:20, and they were like, yeah, we got somebody that canceled at 8:45. Can you hurry up and get dressed and get down here? And I was like, so the place is not that far from me. Easily, it's about less than 15 minutes. However, when you have people that can't drive, it takes a little bit longer. Me and LeBron hurried up, threw some clothes on, and good thing, see, that's a good thing about having my hair like this. I didn't have to fool with my head. Lip gloss was the makeup of choice, and LeBron threw some clothes on, threw a hat on his head, because we hadn't cut his hair yet, only because it's almost school time, so we want to get him a fresh cut and give his, you know, head a rest. And so I took his pancake sausages on the stick, I wrapped it in a paper towel, I poured his orange juice in a cup with a straw, and I said, boy, let's go, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. And what's so crazy is that we rushed down. It was getting ready to rain. I was like, oh Lord, here we go. So we rushed down to the car, and LeBron gets in, I get in or whatever, and we get to driving or whatever. I said, LeBron, we gotta get there. I said, we have to get there on time, let's go. So he's eating his breakfast in the bag, and I'm looking at my purse like, I ain't bringing out one snack. I'm gonna be hungry. It's probably gonna take forever. Anyway, we got there. She said, as long as you get here before 9, you'll be okay. We got there. It was like 8:53, 8:54. So we did it. We did it. Anyway, back to the NST. I don't even know where I was going with that. Where did I even go with that? Oh, because I only ate a bowl of cereal. That's what it was. So anyway, I go to the NST room. They hook everything up or whatnot, and for a minute, like, they were not doing nothing, like nothing. And so I was like, y'all, you know, I was kind of talking to them or whatnot, trying to see if they recognize my voice and, you know, try and move around. They were like, nope, not having it. And at this point, though, I know a lot of times babies are going through what do they call it, sleep realms or something of that nature, where basically they are experiencing where they're sleeping and dreaming and doing more of that. So I kind of chucked it up to that, to a sense, I guess, to a degree. So the first time, I think the nurse had came back in, one of the nurses that hooked me up, and she was like, she was like, well, she said, I see that B is doing, you know, his thing, but we need more on A, so we're probably gonna, you know, try to keep you on the monitor a little bit longer with baby A. So I was like, okay, cool. So anyway, we get to doing that. the whole time doing that, I'm having contractions consistently. I'm having like she was kind of like noticing, you know, I was having contractions consistently. It was like every 10 minutes really. It was 10 to 12 at some points, but majority of the time it was like every 10 minutes. Even when I was doing the ultrasound, like they were coming, like I said, they were coming. I had at least 3 doing the ultrasound. Ultrasound went by fast as well, but I had some. And so finally the doctor comes in, she reads, you know, and looks at the paper or whatever to try and determine, you know, you know, what's what. And so she was like, she said, have you had any changes lately? And I was like, well, other than, you know, the contractions picking up a little bit more, sometimes it depends on which ones. They are a little bit stronger than others. I said, it is starting to kind of feel like when I have the ones that they hurt my bottom, make you kind of feel like you want to poop to a certain extent, TMI. I said, but it's not every one of them that feels that way, you know. And everything irritates my uterus right now, you know. If I laugh, if I talk loud, anything, any and everything seems like it just makes it irritable, and I think it's just very irritable. So anyway, she kind of looks at the little paper that comes out, and she goes, she said, so baby A has been, you know, active, or, and I said, well, once again, I was like, you know, he's still moving and stuff. I said, but he's just not as maybe hyper, I don't know what to call it, but as he was, you know, maybe weeks ago or whatever. You know, he would be the first one to wake up. He'd be the first one to, you know, be in the middle of the night kicking his brother. Like, you know, I could tell when it was him because his whole body would just be moving. Now, on the other hand, Lennox was just cool, calm, and collected the whole pregnancy. So every time I would touch him, he would just be kind of unbothered. He may move a little bit and be like, okay, now leave me alone. So I knew, you know, I know their personalities. I kind of know them to a certain extent, of who's who. Hey, you just kicked me. He just kicked me, Levi. So anyway, so she was kind of looking at the paper and she was listening to me and so forth, and I was just letting her know, you know, how I was feeling and stuff. And so she was like, she was like, well, let me go look at the ultrasound really quickly and see how that went, like that. So she left out, and I continued to stay on the monitor. What they did was they took baby B off, because they were like, well, we have enough of baby B. We're going to take that off and see if we can't get a better reading of baby A now. And they kept the contraction monitor on as well. So she goes and look at the paperwork or whatnot, and she see, I mean, the ultrasound results. And she said the results showed that they passed on for the ultrasound part. So the fluid, you know, everything. So then she said, are you monitoring everything, you know, and are you, like, you know, kind of doing a kick count to some extent or a move count? And I said, well, how do I determine that, you know, for y'all, you know, how? I said, because the thing is that, you know, if he's not moving for, you know, an hour, or if I haven't felt him move, you know, or if I'm in la la land and not really paying attention, because right now it becomes natural, like you, unless it's a big kick. But if it's like a little tiny kick, it's just like, oh, okay, kick. You know, you don't really think of that as something to look out for, if that makes sense. And so anyway, I said, well, are you talking about movement as in stimulation, like movement as in if I feel like that day I haven't felt them, or I felt like, you know, so many hours gone by and I haven't felt one of them, and I start, you know, moving them and or shaking my belly or pressing where their butt or head or feet are, does that count? And I said, so stimulation or not, or whether I'm drinking something or whatever the case may be, because my thing, stimulation is stimulation. Whether you drink something to get them to move, eat something to get them to move, touching them, you know, on the belly, pushing in, pushing out, whatever the case may be, all of that stimulation. I feel like, because she was telling me self-stimulation, like them doing it. And so I said, okay, well, that would mean not touching them and so forth. So remember in the beginning of the video, I kind of mentioned how the ultrasound tech had to do a lot of, like, this was my belly, she was, you know, so to me that's stimulation. So if we're going by self-stimulation, then to me, the ultrasound would have been a little bit different, because we are trying to make him move, trying to make him show that he's breathing. We are stimulating him versus him doing everything on his own. And so that part I started being kind of confused about, because I didn't know exactly what level of stimulation are we talking about. Because if that's the case, then did I fail the ultrasound or not, you know? So I was a little confused on that. She was telling me, she was like, yeah, I know your doctor, you know, is a little bit more on the let's go ahead and deliver you side. She said, I just really, you know, feel like once we do the growth scan, then we can kind of determine and go from there. But the growth scan, they don't do every week. And my thing, if we're concerned so much about baby A's growth, why are we not doing a growth scan to me every week? I feel like that's not, you know, a lot, because we're only measuring one baby to see his growth. And I feel like, you know, every week, according to books and everything that you read and talk to other people, at this point they're supposed to be growing a half a pound every week. So I'm trying to think why we can't determine by his growth versus looking at contractions and amount of fluid and this and that. You know, it's kind of like everything has been checking out good, but his growth. So even he's in the 8th percentile. 8th percentile to me is not good. You know, any growth that she mentioned was good, but if you're growing 1 ounce or a half an ounce, I feel like that's not good, you know. So she said she wanted me to come back on Monday. Well, after we did all of that, she had basically stated that you know, she wanted to kind of keep an eye on me. And then she stated that she said, yeah, I'm not quite sure if we're gonna make it to 37 weeks like that. And I'm thinking like, well, I turn 35 weeks on tomorrow, on Friday. There's only 1 week kind of in between 35 and 37, you know. There's only like that 36. So it's like, I don't know, you know, if she's concerned, but she's just trying to keep them from being in the NICU. However, I feel like being proactive versus waiting until it's an emergency is better. You know, I don't want to wait until, oh my gosh, yeah, we need to go ahead and rush you. I don't want to make it into an emergency factor. I don't want to make it into, you know, let's hurry and get these babies out. I want to be, you know, well aware of what's going on. I want to, you know, kind of have some sense of a plan, not go there one day and, oh, he's barely moving, let's go ahead and get there. That, to me, that's not being cautious or being, I don't know, you know. And I know a lot of y'all had wrote on Instagram, you know, kind of follow my instinct and so forth. And right now my instinct is so confused, because I've been looking on YouTube, I've been looking at everybody's, you know, YouTube that they had and everything, and I'm just trying to figure out, where do I go from here? What is the best plan of action? I did write my doctor, my OB, in a message telling him what I want to talk about tomorrow, because I go visit him tomorrow. And basically I was just letting him know, you know, that I am concerned. I feel like both of them at one point were concerned. Now all of a sudden they aren't as concerned as they were. So I'm not sure how that kind of changed things. So anyway, she was telling me about the whole stimulation thing, and she was just saying, you know, let them do self-stimulation, you know, without you having to probe or drink something and so forth. So I was like, okay. So then she had mentioned also that, you know, like I said, we may not make it until, you know, the 37 mark, in which she wanted us to make it to. And that's a word. What else did she say? Oh, and then she was like, we may want to, you know, they may just start coming on their own. Now, what she means by they may start coming on their own, she's very aware of that I have a TAC. She did my vaginal cerclage when I had the girls. When I was 20 weeks, I went to her office and we found out that I pretty much had maybe a half of a centimeter or inch, half an inch. How do you measure that? I don't know. But anyway, it was just barely there where and so she, my OB at the time had recommended that I reach out to some people about getting an abdominal cerclage. And so that's where my OB comes into play, because my OB actually did my cerclage. So he knows how to deal with them. He's very aware of, you know, how they, you know, operate, and when it's, you know, when it's time and so forth. So he's very aware of that. She's very aware of that. But what she was saying, I'm assuming, because she was like, well, they may just come on their own. She was speaking about the contractions that I had been having, and saying that they may be the ones to determine what day we choose versus us trying to determine what's the best date. Again, I'm a very proactive person. I'm very proactive. I'm a very, you know, everything has to be, not has to be, but I like everything kind of pre-planned, pre-arranged. Now, if it comes to the point where I'm sitting here and my water breaks, then yeah, that's something we can't control. But at least we know that, okay, they're on their way. It's not as of an emergency as in, oh, Levi, he hasn't been moving, oh, his heart rate's slowing, or this and that. You know, I don't want it to be a life and death situation. I want it to be we're being precautious, so let's go ahead and deliver. You know, yeah, I don't want them to be in a NICU. I don't want to sit in the NICU a day in my life. I'm praying that they are healthy and strong enough to, when they're born, they are able to come home. And if they have NICU time, maybe it's only going to be 4 or 5 days. You know, maybe it's not going to be a big concern. I feel like they're healthy enough to where, you know, they'll do just fine. And I know, you know, God have not, you know, hasn't brought us this far to leave us, you know. So I'm more concerned about them waiting until something happens, or it gets to the point where it's a rushed situation. So of course tomorrow we are bringing our bags as usual. Every time we go to the OB, we do pack our bags. My mom is on standby. Their godparents, LeBron, Lennox, and Levi's godparents are on standby. I do have my aunts and everybody that are waiting, because everybody's waiting until their manager, hey, she's getting ready to deliver, so I have to go. So we do have a lot of people that are, you know, every time I go, I'm updating, including y'all. So I have a lot of people that I'm just like copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. I'll write everything that happened, and then I'll copy paste, copy paste. So anyway, that's the update I wanted to kind of give y'all. And I am just hoping that it would be nice to go one more week and say I made it 9 months. But to be realistic, I just feel like we need to be proactive. And I'm going to talk to my doctor and say, you know, you had a reason why you wanted to move this date up, because I was supposed to be delivering yesterday. So there is a reason why you wanted to move this up. What is your reasoning? You've dealt with tax for a very long time. You've done tax. You were very positive and sure that the babies would be fine, and he's even said most of the time the little one is the one that's doing the best when he comes out. Sometimes you just never know. And so like I said, I don't want to get to the point where I am starting to stress and worry. But after they talked the last time, I believe my maternal fetal doctor persuaded my OB to let me go a little bit further and changed his mind. So and then my mom is so silly. She was like, at first she was like, once he called her, you know, men, they don't like to listen to women, so he ain't gonna listen to her when she's talking. He gonna be like, this is what I'm doing. And I said, Mama, really? My mom's a mess. So anyway, everybody's just on standby. Everything is pretty much ready for them. If they have to, like I said, be in the NICU, I'm not claiming it, but they have to be in the NICU for a few minutes or a few days, you know, just to make sure they're breathing and sucking at the same time, eating, whatever, then that's fine. You know, our main goal is to make sure I'm healthy and they are healthy as well. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go. I don't want to make this video too long, but I did want to give y'all a more detailed explanation of what's going on today. I am, of course, gonna make a video for tomorrow's appointment. Hopefully tomorrow we will be setting a date, because I'm just gonna let him know I'm sorry, but I just feel like the longer we wait, the longer that you know, and y'all not checking for growth, I can see y'all, they were checking for growth, then it would be, okay, we can wait another week. You know, he grew, you know, another 8 ounces, or, you know, if I knew, then I would be a little bit more comfortable with prolonging this pregnancy. But until they give me a growth scan and show me where my baby has grown, you know, in the past week or so, you know, and be a little bit more accurate and be a little bit more detailed, knowing we need those numbers, you know, a little bit more accurate, then I think it's time to deliver, you know, and it is what it is. So, like I said, I'm going to keep y'all updated. Just remember, just in case anything changes, please, please, please go to the Instagram. And that's only because it's quicker to do by phone and just kind of tell y'all really quickly. I am thinking about doing a live, depending on what he say on Friday. I may do a live with y'all on Saturday, Instagram live. Excuse me. Possibly. It's not a promise, but possibly. But I don't know what I'm gonna do when I'm gonna do that video, if I'm able to even do it. You know, so I definitely want to keep y'all informed. So definitely be watching out for the Instagram, as the Instagram videos or Instagram posts that I may make. That way y'all can kind of be in the know. I don't want y'all to be in the dark about anything. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and go. I'm gonna go ahead and eat dinner. It's getting kind of late, 6 o'clock. And normally I've already eaten dinner by now, so I'm gonna eat, and hubby should be home soon. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to edit this this video as well. And hopefully I will be talking with y'all tomorrow, and hopefully have better explanations, better answers, better views, better suggestions, and you know, all of us can kind of be understanding. Because I know if I'm confused, my husband confused, my mama confused, I know y'all confused, you know. And so and I'm only giving y'all information that's been given to me. So I promise y'all, I may need to go in there and bring my camera and just put it on record, and let y'all listen to the conversation, so y'all can be like, what? But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Blessings to all of you. There's gonna be some that are starting their journey next month. And I'm rooting for you, or y'all, I'm sorry, I am rooting for y'all. There are a few that just did embryo transfers, just did embryo retrievals. I've been watching, so trust me. I hate updating from my phone. I hate writing from my phone, but I watch everybody. And then some of you have started to post cooking videos, and let me tell y'all something. If y'all don't stop posting them videos and not send me no plate through the mail. But anyway, I love all of y'all, and like I said, I do keep up with everyone's, you know, journey. I do watch. I am prayerful for everyone, and I guess I'll talk to everyone later. Bye, guys, or ladies. That's exactly right. Sometimes one baby decides to go to sleep. It's always just, to me, it's always like an inaccurate reading, because it's 2 in there. And so you know, when I'm pressing the button, it's like you're pressing it, you don't, it doesn't matter which baby